Good morning, everybody. Josh Ezel, Breakthrough Real Estate, Property Management, Handyman Services. Have we got a great story for you? This story has to do with one of my best deals I ever got for one of my unique clients who also happened to turn what would be a beautiful home into an even more beautiful home. It doesn't sound that exciting, but trust me, it is. Let's get into it. Before we get to our story, if you're enjoying these, dang it. Before we get to our story, if you're enjoying these stories, please like our stories so then we can subscribe to our stories so then we can provide you with more stories. Sounds like a good story. Stories. If you're liking these stories, go ahead right now and hit that like button and that subscribe button right over there on both sides so you can be notified whenever we present new things, which might be classes, it might be funny stories, it might be sales tips, you never know. Which is why you need to get notified every single time. So go ahead, do it right now. Okay, let's jump right in. This story takes place back in the prime of the fall of the market. All right, when homes can be found for 50, maybe even 60% off. And I had some very unique clients who lived in California. They were actually referred to me by Don, which we've referred to in other stories, one of my greatest clients. It was his aunt, and they were looking for a beautiful one-story home that had to be on a great piece of land because they had a very nice RV. And by very nice RV, we are talking $1 million plus RV, because this gentleman happened to be afraid to fly. So it didn't matter where they were going. If they were living in Canada all the way to Arizona, they were driving. Interesting, huh? But it obviously meant that they wanted to take care of their RV and have a wonderful place for it. So we scoured. They were looking for a very particular piece of land and a very, very particular home. I mean, a really nice one-story home on a good piece of land can be found in the very expensive bracket, but when you're trying to find just a vacation home, you know, not as many people are looking to spend $1 million on a vacation home in Arizona. So we were looking, and I found them a beautiful home in Peoria. It happened to have been listed as RV parking, you know, everything they were looking for. So put out an offer, got it accepted. Of course, they're paying cash, so that we got a good deal. And we went ahead and opened escrow. Things proceeded very smooth. The inspection went pretty well, no problem there. So being a cash transaction, I think we were closing in probably 14 days, right? So the one thing we were waiting on was the CC&Rs from the HOA to confirm, just to be safe, that they could park their RV there. The owners, up and down, yes you can, yes you can. The listing agent, yes you can, yes you can. But thank God my clients did what they were supposed to do, and we waited for the CC&Rs, and wouldn't you know it, not allowed to have anything showing above the fence. So although you may be able to park an RV, they don't want to be able to see it, which means you can't park an RV. So day before closing, we ended up having to cancel that deal. That sucked, but thank God. So day before closing, unfortunately to the listing agent and seller's total dismay, we had to cancel, but rightfully so. And luckily, because we know our contract, we got our earnest money back and we're able to move on. This is why it pays to know your contracts, people. Okay, so start over, I guess you can say. So we started looking for homes, and I'm a firm believer, you're gonna hear me repeat this over and over and over again, the right home happens at the right time for the right people. So Don lives in Surprise, Harv lives in Surprise, Ron lives in Surprise, pretty much everybody that is in their group happens to live in Surprise. So I'm looking for anything, you know, as close to them as possible. And wouldn't you know it, one of the nicest communities in Surprise, gated community, acre lot, 3,000 plus square foot, one-story home can definitely park an RV on these lots. And I mean, it checked every box. One of the biggest benefits to this property, and the reason I bring it up in the story, is because of the value. In the peak of the market, this house actually sold for $789,000. Now, it was listed for approximately $350,000, and the offer we actually got accepted was $319,000. So it is a smoking value, well over 50% off, and the catch was it was a short sale. So yeah, we got a wonderful deal accepted by the sellers, but we still need bank approval. So let's enter the next part of the story. Anybody who was a realtor back in the day, familiar with short sales, knows that the big three banks were the worst to deal with. And of course, this one had to be one of those three. We're not going to mention any names today, because we all know that all three of them, no matter which way you cut it, were not fast or anything guaranteed. And chances are throughout the process you're going to be dealing with 3 or 4 different people, and oh my gosh, you know what I mean? So it was one of those. But one of the funniest things about this was the listing agent flat out said he didn't have much experience with short sales. So he basically handed it over to my father and I, who worked together, and he was a short sale beast. So him and I busted this short sale out within 3 months. It turned into a great experience on that end, right? And we got full approval at our list price. So $319,000 for what would be, at the peak, a $789,000 home. How awesome is that? So let's enter the next part, which is the moment they close on this home, they took what would have been, and this is the funniest part because my personal opinion is doesn't matter, but at that point in time, it was hands down my nicest sale. Hands down, right? Hardwood floors, beautiful tile, granite countertops, gas stove with, you know, the vent, big old cool vent hood over the top. Oh man, this was a beautiful home. Out back, you had a pool and it had a water feature. It was just gorgeous, right? They just rip it all apart. They customized this home on a level I didn't even know it existed at that point in time. They took out the basic tile and put in beautiful marble floors. They put in, I forget which, it was a cool combination of like butcher block and other countertops. And one of the coolest things that they did was that they were using my guys to do all the work, like the guys that we flipped our homes with, fixed our homes up with, ended up getting a lot of great high-end work. And out back, they took out, they took what was a beautiful pool and added a swim-up bar and a bunch of other features to it. They added a putting green, they put in a volleyball court, they put in like a cool tiki hut type thing, they put in patio stuff, they put in lighting, they put in speakers, they put in a lot more landscaping. There was not 1 inch of this home. The master bathroom's just gutted, put in beautiful walk-in showers. I mean, you name it, this home was done up. So they took what would have been a $800,000 home at the peak that they purchased for $320,000 and probably dumped at that time another $500,000 into this home or more to make it fully customized. I mean, seriously, now we're talking, this is a freaking beautiful home, right? So they finish it, and I have the property management company. I sold them this home. They were using my guys for the work. So I'm like, cool, let's sign you up for management. Oh, no, we don't need you, Josh. We're good. What? What? You don't need me? Why not? Because, you know, the workers, they said that they'd go ahead and watch over our home for us. Oh, okay. Well, you know, they're not like realtors and anything like that. No, they're good. They, you know, they live right in the area too, so they'll be okay. They said they'll come by, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, they're going to take care of us for free since, you know, we threw them so much work. Oh, fantastic. Okay. Fast forward a week or two. Well, maybe a couple more weeks, right? I'm getting ready to close on my next home. And of course, at that time, been going home short sales. They need paint, flooring, you know, all your fixtures redone, you name it, right? So it's like, hey guys, are going to be available to do this? Oh, no, sorry. We're going to be up in Canada. You're going to be up in Canada? Oh yeah, so-and-so invited us up to go work on their house and do some work on, you know, on each of the kids' homes, blah, 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 blah. You know, multi-million-dollar homes up in Canada. And they're paying for the trip. They're paying for the place to stay. They're paying them to be there. The whole shebang. So long story short, and I'm not complaining. I just think it's really funny in the long run, because at the time this was one of my biggest sales, even though it was only, you know, $319,000. It was still one of my biggest sales at the time. Hands down, it's still one of my biggest, most beautiful properties. They did amazing stuff with it. It led to more sales. So don't get me wrong, but I think it's hilarious that they didn't use my property management company. They ended up taking wonderful care of my guys, flying them up. They got weeks and months worth of work, thousands and thousands of dollars worth of, you know, benefits from it, experiences, Canada, stuff like that. I ended up finding them the cheapest house possible, which compared to that first house, I'm pretty sure it was $140,000 less than that first house they got accepted. This one was a short sale, the other one wasn't, so I got gypped down to about a 2.5% commission, which I split with my dad and my brokerage. So I literally got paid for about 6 months worth of work. I think I took home maybe $3,000 or $4,000 total. And I would have given anything to have traded them places, to have been able to go up to Canada, you know, to stay at these multi-million-dollar properties. I mean, they went to hockey games. They did so much stuff while they were up there. It had been an amazing experience. So needless to say, I was a little jealous, still am a little bit, but I mean, it's everything works out for the long run, right? So that is my story of one of the greatest deals I ever got and how it really benefited a lot of other people in big ways. So anyway, hope you enjoy this story. Again, if you appreciate them, hit that like and subscribe buttons right there, right now. And then please share these stories and go ahead and tune in next week for a brand new story. We'll talk to you later.
Your name would be the melody that's on my tongue. Oh, if love was a simple song, there are no words that have been written or been sung that my ears have heard, or I've cheapened with my tongue. Behold the weight of this thing